When I was a kid, my favorite chapter books were from the sci-fi fantasy Animorphs series written by none other than K.A. Catherine Applegate. My brothers and I loved the compelling stories and rich characters. But this review is about a more recent novel by Applegate, The One and Only Ivan. I mentioned the Animorphs books not to gush about one of my favorite reading experiences, but to note that Applegate does characters and story well. She continues to shine in The One and Only Ivan, a story about a gorilla, Ivan, who lives in a circus-themed mall with his elephant friend Stella and stray dog friend Bob. But when a new elephant is brought to drum up business for their attractions, Ivan must make a difficult promise and undertake an enormous plan to keep it. The story progresses slowly at first, but when Julia brings Ivan his first crayon, you know this is going to be important. Ivan is an artist. Even in his early childhood, he used to draw in mud on his mother's back. It's a trait that readers discover, but also a word that Ivan uses to describe himself. It resonated with me personally because it points out Ivan's creativity. It reminded me of how I consider myself a writer and have since I was a kid. It's also a trait that students can relate to. The night where Ivan is tired but can't sleep is a poignant moment, though a quiet one. Stella suggests he try remembering a good day. Ivan, however, can't remember much, or subconsciously chooses not to, likely due to a traumatic past. Stella states wisely that memories are precious, they help tell us who we are, and such a comment resonates with students of all ages. Memories are what cause us to be the people we are today, just like my fond memories of Animorphs novels helped shape me into the eager reader, librarian, and teacher that I am today. When baby elephant Ruby arrives, there is a mix of excitement and disappointment. Ivan is happy the new arrival is a baby elephant, but he thinks it will make Stella happy. But she is not glad at all, Ivan realizes. He might not be sure why, but readers can likely figure it out. She says it will never be okay for a baby to have this life. And having had a baby myself 9 months ago, I can relate to Stella's maternal instinct, where she wants to protect Ruby, but also wants a better life for her than the one she's had. Though young students may not have experienced this before, they might be able to understand it from a different perspective. Perhaps they've seen how their parents care for them, and like Ivan, don't quite understand, but know that it's important. Stella dies and Ivan makes a promise. Perhaps the saddest moment of the book, before Stella dies, she asks Ivan to ensure Ruby has a better life. Ivan notes it would be easier to stop being a gorilla, but promises anyway. He's unsure, but has determination. He is still the mighty Silverback, and will figure something out. Stella's death sets something in motion. Ivan begins to remember his own past. Ivan decides to use his art to save Ruby. From this moment forward, he no longer refers to his living quarters as a domain. He calls it a cage, even to readers, and recognizes his confinement, and is ready to challenge it in order to save Ruby. As he states, this handprint can't be so easily wiped away. It's a poignant moment marking the permanence of his art and the permanence of his cause. He's going to make a change because he can't let Ruby be another one and only. She shouldn't have to live and die alone. Ivan is relocated to a new facility toward the end of the story, a place with other gorillas. At first he doesn't understand what's happened. He's left one cage for another. But readers may recognize that this location is temporary. Ivan is soon going to meet the gorillas, and that's definitely poignant. It's not an instant connection, which is realistic. Ivan hasn't had to behave like a wild gorilla in a long time, so it takes some time for him to get used to it. The readers know he's in a better place. The end of the book ties up all the loose ends, giving Ivan the opportunity to find out that Ruby, Bob, and even Julia's family are all okay. Ivan gets a potential romance and a new canvas for painting in the form of a blank white wall. Though perhaps a bit too perfect, Ivan and the characters seem to deserve this happy ending after all the sadness in the book. There is a kind of hope and beauty that permeates throughout the story, and the characters, though talking animals, are as human and real as they come. These reasons, and the poignant moments throughout that I've discussed, are what make The One and Only Ivan a must-read.